Hi everyone, welcome to channel Qtomation. In today's session we will see about cookies. We will see what exactly are cookies and what are the different scenarios or different things we can handle for cookies. So very basic question, what exactly is cookie in context of web browser? So cookies in the context of web browsers and web development are small pieces of data that website stores on a user's device. So cookies are basically a small piece of data that our browser stores on the device. So whenever we visit any website, these cookies are sent back to the website server every time the user visit in the site again. So we have practically sometimes see various type of pages, web pages where we log in. And whenever we log in, we give some username and some password. And sometimes we can see there is one checkbox which asks user if they want to store that username and password. So next time whenever they land up on that login page, we don't have to again enter the username and password. That is basically remembered by that specific web browser in the form of cookies. So cookies are basically a small piece of data that the website store on user's device. And what is the use of cookies? Cookies are often used to manage user session on a website. When you log into a website, a session cookie is created. This cookie is sent with every subsequent request, allowing the website to identify and remember you without requiring you to log in again for each page you visit. So whenever we log into Facebook, when we log in for the first time, we have to enter the username and password. But if you store that cookies, whenever browser asks if you have checked that checkbox, next time whenever you try to open the facebook.com, that website will identify you and it will remember you without requiring you to log in again for each page you visit. That is the main benefit of cookie. Personalization. So cookies enable website to remember your preferences and settings. For example, a shopping website, so sometimes we use shopping website, can use cookies to remember the items you have added to your cart. Or a news website can remember your preferred language or region. For tracking purpose as well. So cookies are used for tracking user behavior and website analytics. Website owners can analyze cookie data to understand how users interact with their site, which pages are popular, and how long users stay on the page. This information helps in improving the user experience. And sometimes cookies are also used for authentication purpose. When you log into a website, it sets an authentication cookie that proves your identity during your session. Without cookies, you would need to enter your credentials on every page. So these are some basic examples or basic usage of cookies on the web browser. And how do cookie looks basically? Cookies are basically can have various optional attributes that provides additional information. How the cookie should be handled. So cookie can have multiple attributes and values. For example, it can have expires attribute, domain attribute, path attribute, secure attribute. These are some basic attributes. So expires attribute specifies when the cookie should expire. Domain attribute specifies the domain for which the cookie is valid. Path attribute specifies the URL path for which the cookie is valid. Secure attribute indicates whether the cookie should only be transmitted over secure connections. So these are the various attributes of cookies. And if you want to know how the cookie look, this is one example. So basically cookie has some key and value pairs. If you see this cookie, it is in the form of dictionary data type. If you see, this is the dictionary data type, which includes the name and value. For example, domain is a attribute name and this is the value for that domain attribute. HTTP only is a attribute, false is a attribute value. Name is also attribute, my cookie is the value of that name attribute. Similarly, we have path attribute and different multiple attributes can be present. So cookie is basically a dictionary data type which can contain multiple attribute and values. Cookie contains attribute and values. And in automation, sometimes we have to perform certain scenarios which might include addition of cookies, getting all the cookies for the specific website, getting a specific cookie, deleting any cookie, or deleting all the cookies on that specific website. So these are the different methods which are provided in Selenium with Python. And by using this method, we can perform different type of actions. For example, adding cookie, getting all the cookies, getting a specific cookie name, deleting cookie, or deleting all the cookies. So now we will see practically these methods about cookies. So let's go to PyCharm. In PyCharm, I am going to create a new Python file. Let's name it as cookies demo. So we have created a Python file now. After creating a Python file, what I will do, I will simply bring some basic code from our previous sessions. So we have imported a Selenium WebDriver package. We have also imported service class object. We have created a service class object in which we are passing path of the browser driver executable. Then we have created a driver instance in which we are passing service class object. We have to pass service class object. After creating the driver instance, we can provide some implicit wait, let's say 10 seconds. And after providing the implicit wait, we can open the website. So basically cookies are very dynamic in nature. So whenever we open any website, there can be n number of cookies present and that can change dynamically as well. So I am just going to take one basic google.com as a page. So I am going to open that web page. So how to open that web page? Driver.get. It will open, it will launch the web browser and it will open the google.com. And after opening the google.com, we want to fetch all the cookies. So first method we will see fetching all the cookies present on that web page. For that web page, so we will first see fetch all cookies. So we want to fetch all the cookies. So for that we have one method, that is driver.getCookies. Driver.getCookies, this method will fetch all the cookies which are present in the browser for that specific web page. And let's store all the cookies, let's say in variable. So I have created one variable all cookies which will store all the cookies after opening the web page. And after that, let's check how many cookies are there. So how to check the number of cookies which are present? There can be multiple cookies can be present. So for that we can use length function, and in which we can pass cookies. So it will return number of cookies. What is the variable name? That is all cookies. So I am just passing it in here, and we are just printing number of cookies present, comma, and then it will print length of all cookies. That means how many cookies are present for that specific website whenever that gets loaded on the web browser. So let's execute this file and let's check the output. So it will launch the web browser. It will open the google.com, and then it will print on the console. So I'm just closing this page. If you see, it is showing number of cookies present is 4. So whenever this google.com page is loaded on our web browser, number of cookies present are 4. So this is how we can use get cookies method to get all the cookies. So we know how many numbers of cookies are there. So now let's say I want to print all the cookies. How to print all the cookies, that we will see. So I will use for loop for C in all cookies, and then I will print, let's say print C. Now let's try to execute this and let's see how the cookies look. So it will print all the 4 cookies. So we are basically printing all cookies one by one. So in for loop, all cookies will be storing all the 4 cookies, and in this for loop, first cookie will come into the C, and then we are printing that cookie. Then it will move to the next cookie that will be stored in C, and that will be printed. Similarly, it will print all the 4 cookies. So now let's run this file. It will launch the web browser. It will open the google.com, and it should print all the cookies. So I'm just closing this. And if you see the output here, these are the different cookies, basically 1, 2, 3 and 4. And if you see the format, every cookie is basically having some key value pairs. This is the dictionary data type. So each cookie is basically a dictionary data type. Domain is an attribute. .google.com is a value for that specific attribute. Similarly, it is having expiry as an attribute, HTTP only as an attribute, name attribute, and different type of multiple attribute. Value is also kind of a one attribute which is having this value. So these are all the cookies which are present. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cookies are present whenever the page is loaded. And let's say now, so far we have seen how to fetch all cookies. And let's say in this cookie, I want to print only name. If you see, I want to print only specific attributes from this cookie data. Let's say I want to print only name. Then how we can do that? If I want to print only name, so in the same for loop, what we can do? Print c.get, in which we have to pass which attribute value we want to fetch. So I want to fetch name attribute. So now let's execute this. So it will print all the values for the name attribute for all 4 cookies. So now let's execute it. So it is launching the web browser. It will open the google.com, and I'm just minimizing it. And if you see, it is printing only the name attribute value. When we use c.get name, it will print only the name attribute values. I'm just using this. Let's say I'm just commenting this. Initially we have seen that it is printing all the values, right? So if you don't use this specific thing, if only you use print C, then it will print all the cookie data. It will print all the attribute and all the values. But if you use c.get name, so it will print only the name value of that specific cookie, all the 4 cookies. So this is how we can use. If I want to fetch another value, for example, I am just executing one more time, and we can also close the browser as well. So how to close it? Driver.close. So it will close the browser instance. So I am just closing the instance which is already open, and now let's execute one more time. So it will launch the web browser and it will close the window after the script execution. And if you see, these are the cookies: first cookie, second cookie, third cookie, and all the 4 cookies. And there are multiple attribute and multiple values. Domain attribute, value of domain attribute; expiry attribute, value of expiry attribute; this is the HTTP only attribute, this is the value for HTTP only attribute. Similarly, this is the name attribute. So what we have seen, if I want to specifically print only the name values, if I want to print instead of all this data, I want to just print only the name attribute values. If I want to get, so along with the name, now let's say I want to print along with the name, let's say I want to print value as well. So how we can do that? So here we have seen print c.get, we have to pass the attribute name. It will print all the values of name attribute. And let's say I want to print now value attribute values. So what we can do, print c.get. In this we have to pass value. So value is again another attribute. If you see, value is again another attribute, and this value attribute is having another value. So it should print all the value attribute values. Values of value attribute. Now let's execute this file and let's see the output. So it will launch the web browser. It will open the google.com. It will print all the name and values attribute. If you see, number of cookies present are 4. We have to comment first one. Let's execute one more time. So it is launching the web browser. And if you see, now it is printing the name, and this is the value, name attribute value, and this is the value attribute value. So this is how we can use get method on specific cookie to print various attribute and values. So I am just commenting this part. So now we have seen how to print or how to get all the cookies. We have also seen how to print any specific attribute value for that specific cookie or all the cookies. Now we will see how to get a specific cookie. So get cookie method is used to get only one cookie based on its name. So now instead of printing all cookies, if I want to fetch only the specific cookie by its name, then how we can do that? So before that, what I will do, we can also add the cookie as well. We can add cookie as well. We can add a cookie using this method. By using add cookie method, we can add our own cookie. So we have seen when we used get cookies method, it is how many cookies it was having. So by default it is having 4 cookies. Now what I will do, I will add another cookie. So these all cookies we have fetched after opening the web browser, and it is printing the number of cookies present. Now after that, what I will do, I will add one more cookie. So I will just create one cookie equals to dictionary format. So cookie we have to add in the dictionary format. So in this I can add attribute. Let's say name is an attribute, and what value I want to provide, let's say I am providing value as my cookie. So I am just adding one more cookie. I am adding one more cookie with the attribute as name. This is the value for name attribute, and Let's say I can add one more value. I will add value attribute with some value like my value. So this is the cookie which we have created, and I want to add this cookie on that specific website. So I am just using Ctrl C, and we can use driver dot add cookies method, add cookie method, and in the add cookie method I am passing this cookie. In add cookie method I am passing this cookie, so it will add this specific cookie. And after adding this cookie, what I will do, I will again get all the cookies, because we have previously got the cookies before adding the cookie. So this will print the value as 4. So it will print number of cookies present before adding cookie. It will be 4, but we have to again fetch all the cookies after adding this cookie. So now I will just again fetch all the cookies after adding this cookie. So print number of cookies present after adding cookie should be increased by 1. So now ideally it should give the output as 5. Now we will execute this file and let's see the output. So let's execute this file. It will launch the web browser. And if you see, number of cookies present before adding cookie was 4, and after adding the cookie, number changed to 5. That means the cookie which we have added got successfully added. We successfully added new cookie. Now after adding this new cookie, let's say I want to see that specific cookie one more time. I want to fetch only the specific cookie. So how we can use that? We can simply use driver dot get cookie method. So driver dot get cookie method, in which we have to pass name of the cookie. So what is the name which we have used? My cookie. So I am just passing this name. So it should fetch that specific cookie which we have added. And let's say I am just going to print this, print driver dot get cookie. So it should print that specific cookie which we have added. So let's execute this file. So it is launching the web browser, and it will close the web browser. It will print, if you see, number of cookies present before adding cookie was 4. Then we have added a new cookie, then value changed to 5. And this is basically the cookie which we have added from our side. If you see, name is my cookie and the value which we have provided, that is my value. So this is the cookie which we have added. This is the cookie which we have added in the website, or that specific browser whenever that website got loaded. So this is how we can add the new cookie as well. And similarly we have seen how to get all the cookies, how to add one cookie. And now we will see how to delete the cookie. Now we can delete the specific cookie as well. So the cookie which we have added, I am going to delete that cookie. So now we will see how to delete the cookie. So again we can use driver dot delete cookie method. In this we have to pass the name of cookie. So I am just passing the name as my cookie which we have created. So now this command should delete that cookie. And after deleting the cookie, how many cookies will remain? After deleting the cookie, 4 cookies should be there. So what we will do, we will again use this one, all cookies. It will store all the cookies again after deleting this cookie, and then we are using print number of cookies present after deleting that cookie. It should print ideally again 4. So now let's execute this file. It is launching the website, and if you see the output, number of cookies present before adding cookie are 4. Number of cookies present after adding new cookie got 5. This is the cookie which we have added, and then we have deleted that cookie. And if you see the output here, number of cookies present after deleting cookie is 4 again. That means the cookie which we have added, we again deleted as well. So this is how we can delete any specific cookie by using the name attribute. And now if I want to delete all the cookies, we can use delete all cookies method. So I want to delete all the cookies now. So let's use driver dot delete all cookies method. So it will delete all the cookies, and after that if you print length of cookies after deleting all the cookies, again I am just fetching it. So after deleting all the cookies, number of cookies present after deleting all cookies should be 0 ideally, right? If you delete all the cookies, then it should become 0. So this should give the output as 0. Now let's execute this file. Let's execute and see the output. So it is launching the website. It will open the google.com. It will perform all the operation and it will close it. So now if you see, initially number of cookies were 4. Then we have added a new cookie. It became 5. This is the new cookie which we have added by using add cookie method. Then we have deleted one cookie, and after deletion again it becomes 4. And then we have used driver dot delete all cookies method. It will deleted all the cookies. So number of cookies present after deleting all cookies is 0 now. So these are the different methods which we can use on the cookies. So we can add our own cookies, we can get all the cookies, we can get any specific cookie, we can delete the cookie, and we can delete all the cookies as well by using Selenium and Python script. So this is about all the cookies related operations. So thank you for watching this video.